What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. As always, I will be live tonight at 8:30 where we'll go through everything in more detail. But for those of you who appreciate a shorter form of content, that's why we put out these videos. So I'm going to go through lots of stuff over the next few minutes, asking you as always to do the usual. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and don't forget to drop a like on the video. So let's start off with some encouraging news. Jurgen Klopp has been named amongst the candidates for the Premier League Manager of the season. Those candidates are Arteta, Emery, Guardiola, Iraola and Klopp. All of them very worthy candidates. For me, if you're asking me for my vote, probably going to go for Unai Emery, in all honesty. But it is great to see Jurgen nominated in his final season. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts, or do you think somebody else deserves that spot? Next up though, my friends, we have the player of the season. And yes, there is a Liverpool nominee in here as well, which is of course good news. The nominees are Phil Foden, young Erling Braut Haaland, Alexander Isak, Martin Odegaard, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Virgil van Dijk and Ollie Watkins. For me, if I'm being honest, I would probably give a nod to Foden here. As much as I detest Manchester City, I tried to be honest in my assessments of it. But great to see Virgil's return to form in the whole this season rewarded with a nomination. I do think the last couple of weeks or maybe month he hasn't been himself, but he has been very consistent throughout the course of the season, and I think it is fitting for him to be in that list. So let me know who you think should be the Premier League Player of the season. So we spoke about Jurgen Klopp before, and we were all in agreement that a parade wasn't the right way to go. Yes, if we had have added a league title or a Europa League, would have made sense, right? But the club did tell us parade not happening, but there is something happening. It was announced today. Liverpool will hold an event at the M&S Bank Arena, formerly known as the Echo Arena, later this month to recognise the achievements of manager Jurgen Klopp. The club will host an evening with Jurgen Klopp and special guests on Tuesday, May 28th, as they continue to pay tribute to the Reds boss, who is now just 2 games away from ending his spell on Merseyside. You can search for these tickets. They are going to be available. I'd say they're going to move quite quickly in all honesty, but this feels like a more fitting way. Jurgen is going to have musical guests on the night. He's going to be interviewed by Peter McDowell of LFC TV, and the show in itself is going to be hosted by Liverpool fan and comedian John Bishop. So definitely an evening worth heading off to, and I think a very, very fitting way for the club to say goodbye to Jurgen. Just a reminder, that will be Tuesday, May 28th, so keep an eye out for your tickets. Have a look at the club's official site, of course, as well. But this is perfect for me. This is the way Jurgen should be remembered, and I can imagine it's going to be both a fun-filled and emotional evening and a great way to say goodbye to Jurgen Klopp, who has been a revelation at the football club. And yeah, I think it's the right idea myself, but again, always interested to know what you guys think. So I want to move on to the Champions League draw now, if I might, for a second. And you're probably thinking, Craig, hang on a minute, we haven't even finished the season yet. I know, but we did get some positive confirmations today. Liverpool will indeed feature in pot 1 of the new reformed Champions League next season. Now, that doesn't give us much of an advantage as it used to. In the olden days, you used to have one team from pot 1, then a team from pot 2, a team from pot 3, and a team from pot 4, and that made up your group. You played 6 matches, 3 home, 3 away, and then you got through to the knockout stages. Now, it's a little bit different. It's going to be made up of a 36-team table from top to bottom. Yes, there will be seedings. Each team is going to play 8 matches against 8 different teams, 4 home and 4 away. I'm sure we'll try and figure this out in more detail as and when the draw gets closer. But just a confirmation that no matter what else happens for the end of this campaign, even if Arsenal were to go and win the league, Liverpool will still be seeded as a pot 1 team, which for me is fitting because it is based off the coefficient in European rankings in recent years, and we all know that Liverpool, except for this year where we were in the Europa, had a pretty consistent run in Europe. So other teams that are already confirmed in there: Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. They are also already guaranteed their places in pot 1 of this revamped Champions League draw. Now, the final thing that I want to speak about today is probably the biggest news of the lot, and it is what may happen if Liverpool do indeed announce this much spoken about kit deal with Adidas. So first and foremost, it seems like any announcement on the new kit manufacturer is going to come early next year. That's at least what the Echo are reporting. But diving into the numbers on this, it does make it quite interesting. For example, Manchester United agreed an extension with Adidas, a 10-year deal worth £90 million a season over the course of that 10 years. Now, that sounds like an astronomical amount of money, right? And it is. 90 million or 10 years worth 900 million is a lot of money. But who's to say that in 6, 7 years, this might look a little bit foolish? You will have noticed in recent years, Liverpool have only entered into 4 or 5 year deals really with companies because the market shifts, football finances shift quickly, and what looks like a great deal now, and look, I'm not trying to put down the United deal, 900 million quid is 900 million quid, but who knows what the deals are going to be like in 5 or 6 years. So Liverpool usually a little bit more coy around these type of things. Another good example that we can look at here though was Arsenal. Arsenal have a very good deal themselves with Adidas that's rumoured to be about £75 million per season. So what can Liverpool look to garner? Well, I would suggest that we may see either a hybrid model, like we've done with Nike, where there was a certain amount of money guaranteed up front, with more based on sales, or we'd fit in somewhere between the Arsenal and the Manchester United fee. Because Liverpool won't, or are very unlikely to agree to such a long-term deal as United, I can't see them getting that much money. So for me, I'd guess Liverpool will be somewhere around the £80 million a year bracket. And I think that is still a significant increase on what we're realistically getting from Nike because it's guaranteed. Also, I have to point out these are, of course, guesstimations. But if you look at Arsenal at 75 mil and Manchester United at 900 mil over the course of 10 years and 90 mil a season, you can see our value is probably in there. Remember, we did speak yesterday about Sportico, who ranked the most valuable clubs in world football. Manchester United topped that list, but Liverpool were in them fourth, just behind Barcelona, with a valuation of $5.1 billion US. So you would imagine any kit manufacturer deal that we get would reflect that. Finally, again, just for a little bit of context here, Newcastle, who I think we can all agree are having a bit of a resurgence as a football club, are in the Champions League this campaign and are making a late push for Europe. They have a deal with Castor that is gone up $5 million a year, but is still only at £30 million a year. So there's a massive difference there between what Castor are paying out to Newcastle and what the likes of Adidas or Nike are paying out to clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, or those at the very top end. So for me, I'm over the moon. I love Adidas, as you can probably tell by the way I'm decked out most days on the stream. And if we can get a deal that reflects our value in the world at about 75, 80 million quid a season, I think that should hopefully translate to more money from the manager to spend on players. At least that's my hope here. So that's the end of our that's the end of our news roundup, I should say, for today. But we will be back tonight at 8:30. We'll be delving into more transfer talk. Again, we'll be speaking about Arne Slot. So just to remind you guys, if you are looking for those tickets for the Jurgen Klopp farewell show, have a look at the club's official website. All the information is listed on there. Look forward to seeing you guys at 8:30 tonight. Don't forget to check out the Cardiff and Belfast shows as well. Links to those tickets are in the description. Really appreciate your support. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.